Welcome to Cooking with Dragons. My name is Rourke. And today I'm making chili paste version 2. So, at some point, whenever I make this, I want to try to get dunchi, which is daochi, if I'm saying that right, which is fermented black bean paste, which is a very good ingredient to add to this kind of dish. Yeah, but since I don't have any paste, I'm just going to make it the way I did before, but with a little bit more volume. Because this time I'm using an entire pound of ground beef and pork, which should bring it out a lot more than what I had before. So this recipe is going to have a pound of that, plus one whole scorpion pepper and one whole Scotch bonnet, because those turned out really well last time. But last time I just used the seeds that had some pulp on it. This time I'm using an entire pepper. And this will give it some time to thaw out too. I'm also going to be using this big onion, a few cloves of this garlic, which actually has a lot of garlic cloves in it, so there's that. A good bit of this ginger. And then for my oil base, I have this curry 9 oil, which I use to make the curry 9 paste, which is another video itself. I'm also going to be deglazing it with a little bit of Shanty white wine vinegar. And I'm going to be adding a little bit of this chili oil if I need it. But yeah, as well as a little bit of soy sauce. And then salt and MSG. As well as shrimp paste, because this works pretty well. I also got a new knife. So it's a chance to test this knife on it. This is apparently a knife from Hell's Kitchen, if that logo is anything to go by. And yeah. This is another cool thing I got when I was at that thrift shop, so yeah. Another cool thing I kind of got was this. It's like a letter opener, bottle opener, axe, can opener, sort of thing. Thought that was pretty cool. Probably won't cut very much with that axe though, but you know. Yeah, and it's apparently made in Japan. I think. Yeah. Alright, time to cut up this ingredient and get started. Here's where we're at so far. We got that prep work done. That's pretty much 75% of it so far. So there's the scorpion pepper and the Scotch bonnet. Doesn't take very long for it to thaw out once it's in the fridge at room temperature, so that's pretty cool. Using pretty much half of an onion, good bit of garlic, which I'm probably going to mince up a little bit, and some of this here ginger. And if you don't have gloves for these, you can always just use a knife and fork. That's what I pretty much did. Works pretty well, I think. The other challenge is going to be getting it off of this wooden cutting board. So, alrighty, now we're on to the beef. So, allons-y. Alrighty, so here we are with that beef. Now the next thing we got to do is just let this render out and cook and get nice and crispy. Then we'll move on to the sauteing, and then we'll combine everything. So it's kind of like wok work here. It's a bit of a pun, but a good way to look at it. I like using cast iron skillet myself, but first thing I'm going to do is saute these onions, followed by the garlic, then the ginger, and lastly the peppers. Because if I add the peppers too soon, it will pepper gas the entire kitchen, and that is not a fun experience. My poor roommate, he came back 3 hours later, and the house was full of pepper. Not on purpose, but you know, yeah. I didn't really notice it was there 3 hours, but it was apparently in the air for about 5 hours. That's one thing to note about cooking with fats and peppers and stuff like that. The peppers will bloom like crazy in fat and sugar. So there's that. Ready? At this point, it's a good time to season it. So I'll add some pepper now. As well as some of that MSG. That should be good. Don't need a whole lot, just enough. Alright, we'll be back when it's close to done. Got that beef done. Now it's time to add some of that oil. Should be good. Gotta use that up anyway, so. Alrighty. Now it's time to add the onions. Alright, got them onions cooking away. Oil. That curry-9 oil has served me well. Glad I was able to use it up in time. But yeah. Already smells really good in here. Alrighty. So after these are good and fragrant, I'm going to add the garlic and then the ginger and then the peppers. Alrighty, got everything nicely going now. Now the last thing we got in there, peppers. Alrighty, this is where it's going to start to get icky. Alrighty, time to turn that fan on to maximum. So, Bunkai! Now we're just pretty much working quickly from here, keeping it going. Smells really good, even though it's also really spicy. I love the scorpion, even though it's so spicy and deadly, but yeah. Alrighty, meat going back in. Alright, so now this is going to take some time. So we'll come back to it once it's close to done. Alrighty, we're getting there. Now I'm going to add now it's time to add the shrimp paste. Nice half a teaspoon. That'll get swept up in there by that fall. And then, yeah, melts right into it. It should be good. Alright. Just about right there. Touch of tomato paste. Looking great right now, I think. Well, deglazing of wine. Turn it down a bit. It should be good. And here we have homemade chili paste, version 2. Very nice and paste consistency, which is what you want. Now it's time to give it a little taste while it's still warm. Probably going to be very hot because of the scorpion, but you know. Grab the scorpion by the tail, it better be ready for the poison. That's, you know, nobody ever said that, but I did. So there you go. Alrighty. So I decided to hit it with some extra stuff just because I was I gave it some freshly crushed up. I crushed up some peppercorns and threw that in there. So yeah, it definitely has a lot of flavor to it, and it's really hot, but it makes you want more. I would say that's the MSG doing that, but yeah. Alrighty, homemade chili sauce version 2. Check it out. Thank you for watching. My name is Roy for Cooking with Dragons. We are exploring the world of foods. You next time, you keep on feeding the fire.